welcome to Icey's Fantasy.
Hey everyone! Please, if you have been watching our videos and you feel they are like really helpful, like, share and subscribe.
Since we started this channel, we have been receiving a lot of comments from you guys.
Of course, we vary our viewers and we read all your comments, so it's very important. Of course, we can come up and give you some answers.
Yeah, if you would like to, you can still comment your thinkings below our Instagram and our YouTube channel. The first question is, what do you think are things you don't like about your partner's culture?
I can just mention like two things in general. So the first one, let's say like a eating habit. This one I find it very strange because whenever we are eating, maybe there can be some like a drinking habit, and where I personally come from, we don't drink alcohol in my family. So that's like things in the culture I really hate it because it's kind of disturbing. It's really kind of disturbing if you're coming to somewhere like me who doesn't drink alcohol, and then you are forced to drink alcohol and you have no way to reject, especially sometimes you're with like important people. Smoking, eating and smoking, so those kind of things, if you don't drink, smoke, it will be kind of disturbing.
And how do you get used to it now?
The way to deal with it if you are a foreigner, so I would say like two options. You have option one, if you can, to completely reject, and the second option, you can maybe have some if you can, because it will have you the connection in Chinese, which they say like 关系
Means
like 面子关系会好. And second things maybe I don't like about my partner's culture, I would say like socialism. Personally, I like people who doesn't like me to just tell me like, we don't like you. So I don't like people to go and talk behind of my back. So what I mean by this, many of Chinese friends, we hang out or whatever, you meet for the first time, they just try to show you everything is good. They're happy with a foreigner. They want to learn English from you. At behind of your back, if you have watched our video we recently uploaded about the comments, racist, no one seems to like you. And
but those are not your friends, they are strangers.
However, in the reality, but that at the end of the day, in the reality, that's how it is. So I feel like it's better we solve it there. And then even myself, I knew you don't like me, rather than just to go there and talk behind my back.
Yeah, it's all about like, at least on surface we still need to keep like friend.
Of course. That's the formula of life.
For me, I have two things that I don't like. It's one thing is like during the time I went back to Africa, and previously I don't have that much like really feelings about that point. It's about the efficiency. When you go to the restaurant and you order some things, and the time like you need to wait is very long, and people doing their cooking or whatever, preparing the food, I don't know why, like why it takes so long to make it finish. Remember when that time we went to the bank, and I like personally I wait for you outside like the whole morning. Even though in China you also need to wait, but of course we know like Chinese are a lot. If everyone you need to wait for like 2 hours or 3 hours, like the whole, how many people can finish their things in a day? That's really like horrible to think about. Like we are processing some things in Rwanda as well. That time when we're processing that thing, they tell us like 1 month or 2 months, and then it turns out 1 year. I almost feel like it's a prank, and it's really somehow scared for me to process the next thing. Like,
first of all, not just you who sees this. Personally, after living for so long time in China, when I went back with you, I feel frustrated as well. You know, people are just chilling, like one thing, if it's a button, if you go to the bank, just someone is pressing a button and taking 1 minute. You know what I mean? I talked to my friend also who lives in China. We were sharing this, like what's really going on, and then he was like, you know, the most things you can do, we cannot go with their speed, because the life back there is like easy going. They have no pressure. So they have nothing like, oh, after this I'm going to do what. But for us in here, you already know today you're going to do this, next is this, next is this, like the whole month it's already planned. Also about the processing, like some of the services, documents, things related to, for example, the government we're doing. Maybe for me, I can understand much more. Rwanda, it's like really trying their best to do their services faster as possible, especially in terms of the government. So, and then some of the situation are still lucky of like bigger financial help.
And the second point is the relations between relatives and friends. Before you said, okay, I say one thing in front of you and I say something back at you, behind you. You don't like that. But for me, something I don't understand is someone just straight to you and say something they want, and which make you don't understand at all. For example, last time, like someone just come to me and ask borrow money from you.
Yeah.
And it's like if you borrow to that guy, it's like you should do that. Like how those guys have the face to ask you and he or she is not familiar with you. That's the relation between friends. And the relation between relatives. Like they have something good from you and they take that as granted. We are grow up in the same village. Like it's like the village raised you up. So when you grow up and then you need to feed them back. Of course, it's good to be grateful for where you came from, but it's not a must that I have to do something like out of my business.
Let me just say, like, I hate it as well, but we learn. Long ago, if I remember when we met, I used always to be that guy who wanna just
like too kind,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes they feel like what they ask you maybe it's not that much, so you can, even if they don't return to you, it has nothing to do to you. But remember guys, when you take something from someone as borrowing, you should return no matter how big it is, right?
I can just say in my culture, this kind of thing can also happen, but
sometimes
like they won't ask for granted. At least during the time when they ask you, they will at least try to behave good, behave nice. Maybe that I take a bottle of wine and come to your door. Okay, can you borrow me this? But you should give to me.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I know. I did struggle with those kind of a lot, and they are not going anywhere. I'm still struggling with such things because that's the people surrounding me, how they are. As in my case, I try always to deal with it.
Okay, the second question is how do you manage to resolve conflicts and disagreements in the couple? I would like to give a solution to this one, but there is no perfect solution.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Every day is like for the past experience. Because before we get married, like during the time we are boyfriend and girlfriend, we didn't have that much
fight.
conflict.
Yeah.
It's like sweetness, everything,
Yeah.
flowers. It's just like enjoying life.
Yeah.
And that time, even we have like some little conflicts, it's just like before bed you don't say goodnight to me, or like today
and those one can be
you are not free to spend time with me to go to the movies.
Yeah.
This kind of like small
Like
things.
those kind of conflict even will be solved in a very short time.
After marriage, like things becoming more and more complicated.
So it can become more intense.
Yeah, and the thing is, sometimes the conflicts, maybe like we don't have the same habits because we start to live together, and our daily life and our habits are different. Get used to each other and to see like which can be tolerant and which can not be.
Yeah.
So it's always like something happen and then we try to see what's the best for us.
And I would say like it's very kind of important, like in a couple, to have that kind of force which is being driving. So it's like if she goes up, like loud voice, and then I go loud voice, that can never be solved.
We need to balance that.
So it's always like in a couple, there needs to be someone who have to balance that. If she goes up, maybe I found out like it's not gonna be okay. I calm down and maybe even try to talk it and solve it in other ways.
Yeah, and maybe like if you see he already calmed down, and you can also like step back a bit.
Yeah.
Like just to try to meet each other in the middle.
Kind of.
Another important thing is know what your partner really needs. Like what he needs is a solution, or he just needs emotional care.
Yeah.
It's like he needs you to help to solve this, or he just needs your comfort. The more, and you will know this person more, and then
I agree.
that's how we manage to know each other. The longer time you guys staying together, and the more solutions coming out from that.
Yeah.
But just remember to be more patient to your partner, and to be more understanding.
Just getting to feel like your family, your partnership is the first one.
Yeah.
No matter what you fight or what, we agree on something or we disagree. Your relationship, your family is the first, comes front first.
Yeah. Okay, the next question is, in your couple, do you live more in Chinese or African culture?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would say like it's kind of like diffusion life, you know, Chinese, African way.
Yeah, that's why we say mixed couple, because there is like no preference. Like
there's no limitation in whatever. Let's say there is such type of food I cook, she love it.
Yeah.
She makes some Chinese food and I love it.
Yeah.
So
that's the benefit.
That's the benefit of interracial couple.
Maybe during the time you want to play the music, I think it's more Africa way. 80%
it's Afro.
It's Afro.
Some days I used to listen to Chinese songs because I want to learn Chinese. But now, like my phone is full of a lot of things. I don't even want to have those app anymore. But she is international, so we always mix up things. Even if I'm playing Afro, for example, she will mix up with some international vibes.
Or like cooking, right? And future.
Sure, dedication.
Okay, future, like I guess it also depends on like which country we are going to live as well. Right now we are in China. Maybe my husband will like adopt more like Chinese culture, kind of. But still, when we are at home, it's like the home is like isolated island to outside world. Even though we are in China. In our own family, we have our own way. The early days of our relationship, I am more adopted to African culture because it's purely new for me.
The child education and anything related to the child, it's specifically 80% or 70 to 80%. It's like a Chinese way.
Because we will study here.
That 30% is
family education.
Is family education, international way.
The next question is, who is the most demanding in hugs?
You want one now?
Oh.
The guy saw it. She's the one. When we have a little conflict, if it's possible and it's not like too high, I would hug her. Just give her some hugs.
Yeah. So.
But I don't hate it at all.
Before we leave each other, like go to work, or like after we come back home, like after work, we always give us
kiss
and a hug.
Yeah.
I think it's a secret to keep a relationship always sweet.
Yeah, very sweet.
The last one is, are you fluent in Chinese?
Oh. Hello， 大家好。那我们现在说中文吧。我们这样子说吧。I can say I'm fluent in Chinese. However，
你为什么要讲英文？不要讲英文。
对。I will just say it one.
你是不是不会说 fluent？
对。你教我。
流利。我的英语很流利，我中文很流利。
我能说我中文很流利。但是呢， 我还要加油。中文字我都看不懂，说话在上班啊，还是做什么呢，我都 OK 了。佛里的一切，佛里的今天不一样了，对吧？但是每一天都是在学习，因为中文有一点难的。在路上接朋友，还是在上班，就是学习这样子的中文，所以有一些我能说中文有一点复杂的。
那你觉得你以后会去系统的学习一下吗？
我觉得我会在一起小宝贝学习中文的，中文会特的木有，对不对？
它的木有。
所以跟我不一样的。那你觉得现在世界够吗？学习普通话，学习是中文词？
可能不够，但是我觉得可以慢慢来。如果你真的想学的话，一天学一个字也可以。
所以我说我会在一起小宝贝学习，因为肯定的我会再教他怎么弄东西。
对，他教你还是你教他？
他可能也会教我。
对，
但我聪明的。
你们互相学习。
对。
Okay, guys, it's really very interesting questions list we have ever received, and yeah, during the time when we are answering those questions, we just found like we know each other more.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, then see you guys in the next Q&A.
Yes.
Bye.